From After Dark World Headquarters, this is your favorite correspondent KD for KD After Dark. Why is it KD After Dark? Because the channel is about me. So, from Mr. and Ms. America, all ships at sea and all sides everywhere, I wish you a good morning. Apparently the Carolinas is going to get bombed with snow this coming Sunday, which is, for Friday, right? A couple of days. Will be interesting. I saw a motherfucker at Dollar General a while ago with nothing but 3 loaves of bread in one hand. It was interesting. More show and tell with albums. I'll show you some of my prized possessions. If you know anything about me, you know that Earl Owensby's from Cliffside, and I've met him and had some great conversation, an extended great conversation with him one time. I have his album, Earl's Rockin' Country. Now, I want you to take a good look at that. There he is with his Rolls Royce, which I've seen before. His singing is unbelievable. He's backed by Arthur Smith and Clay Smith. I think Clay is Arthur's son. Anyway, I can highly recommend, if you ever see Rockin' Country by Earl Owensby, get it. It's hard to find. Next one. Made during the CB craze was some of my favorite CB songs. Cletus Maggard, and the Citizens Band. There he is. There's Cletus from Greenville, South Carolina. He has the infamous. I can't emphasize how great this record is. There's 2 songs that are just like solid fucking gold. CB Rock and Sweet Mercy Day. If you ever find Cletus Maggard and the Citizens Band, get it. All right, so here we are. Got a lot of great feedback from stories of my Pal Talk room. That brings back a lot of good memories for me. I wanted to tell you about something that I haven't thought about in a long time. It's tied to Jackie B too. I don't know how it happened. I don't claim to understand it. But apparently, I was the instigator to all this. So Jackie B, it seems like I heard a conversation in passing between Scott and somebody, that's my brother Scott, about breaking karma. And the gist of it was, it's hard to remember, it was from so long ago, that you can change your destiny by changing your habits. Okay? So, one afternoon I explained this to Jack, and then he kind of developed his own religion about it. And it went something like this. He says, this is the way Jack explained it to me. Now remember, I just told him no more than I told you. It wasn't like I was well read. I most certainly was not. Jack just kind of extrapolated all this and turned it into his thing. So anyway, this is how he said it is. He says karma's going on all the time. And sometimes if you're around negativity, but more not necessarily negativity, but just fucked up low rent people, you got to break karma. And if you're walking into a room, you're gonna walk into the doorway, Then walk back out and walk again. If you're around real dolts, you got to do bizarre motions. And I've seen him do this. I swear, I think he just did it just to fuck with people more than anything else. It wasn't like it was based on anything other than that his eccentric, lunatic, maniac mind. He'd never do it with me alone. And I asked him about that one time. I said, Jack, how come you don't never do this breaking karma around me? He says, look, man, me and you are on an entirely different level than the rest of these low rent sods around here. So I don't have to say we're creating our own destiny and it's beautiful all the time. Well, when we get around these low rent motherfuckers, we got to switch it up. And so we used to go bowling. Remember the drunken bowling stories I've told you about? And there was a guy, I can't give his real name. I'll call him Joe. All right, so Joe was a real square individual, real white bread. You know, you've seen them your whole life, right? Real square white bread individual. They're fine. There's nothing wrong with them. They're just not anything that much interesting about them, and anything out of the norm kind of shakes them up. Well, we get in the car. Joe would be driving. The first thing Jack would do when he get in the car, he'd look at Joe and do this. And Joe say, "How quit that, man? What's the matter with you?" And Jack would always do the same thing. He'd look at Joe and say, "Hey, Joe, you all right? If you ain't all right, we'll get you some help." I've seen him staggering drunk, walk up to a bowling ball with Joe. I mean, Joe's watching, and he'd do this hand motion right before he stuck his hand in the bowling ball. Mostly it was this number, which he completely invented on his own. It's nothing like he read anything about it. I mean, I told you I was the one that told him about a sentence of what I heard one time. Well, anyway, this karma breaking thing, I think he did it just to fuck with people and for laughs. It never did him any good that I could tell, and I was around him all the time. You can just chalk it up that he was a very entertaining maniac. So anyway, if you want to fuck with people sometime, I'm spreading the word about Jack's own homegrown, only applies to him and he don't even believe it, a religion karma break. You around a motherfucker you don't like, they'll say something, then you give them a snide remark, and then you'll kind of glance at me and do this. And you roll on. Anyway, I haven't thought about that in about 40 years. I'm back to 80 subscribers. Can you help me out? I need to get to 8 million as quick as possible. Let me take a sip of coffee and let's do our little thing together. Always be nice until it's time not to be nice. You heard me, right? Be kind to animals. Discipline equals freedom. Never complain. Never explain. And you could live life a long time, but it could end tomorrow. Won't you keep that in mind? You don't have unlimited time, don't you know that? So for Mr. and Ms. America, all ships at sea and all sods, everywhere, this is your favorite correspondent, KD, wishing you a great morning. Let's get consequential shit done. I'm on the road to adventures, and I will see you out there.